time for Cigar Talk, the fastest growing cigar show in the nation. Whether you're a new cigar enthusiast or a cigar aficionado, we have something for everyone, bringing you the best interviews, cigar reviews, and weekly giveaways. So grab yourself a cigar.
It's time to light 'em up.
Welcome back to Cigar Talk. I'm your host, Rob Jones. We got co-host Bryant Falconer in the house. How you doing today, Bryant?
Hey, man, I'm doing good,
Awesome, man. Let me tell you guys, we got a big show coming up today. We do have our weekly top pick 6, and then we're going to be talking to Jesus from Martinez Cigars a little bit later in the show. And, of course, right now we're going to start talking about this week's selection from the show pack.
Yes, sir.
Which is the My Father's. Now, I'm going to have to pull it up because, you know, I'm not real good at the vocal or verbiage or pronunciation. There you go.
But we got the Flor.
The Flor de las Antillas. And so I'm sure we could probably get somebody to give us a better phonetically sounding name on that. But anyway, that's the best we're going to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about this stick, man.
Hey, man, this is a great stick, man. You know, even through the cold draw, you could taste the sweet cedar in it. But when I lit it up, oh, man, the aroma was the first thing that hit me. And then during the taste, I could still taste the sweet cedar, pepper, especially during the retro hell.
Dude, the retro hell was so rich.
Man.
I mean, it was like smooth, but you still got that pepper, but it wasn't overpowering.
Nowhere near.
Because I'm going to tell you, this is a true medium stick.
Oh, yes.
This is not something that's going to knock your socks off, but it gives you a good roller coaster profile of what a good medium stick should be.
Yes, it's a good ride. You know, that pepper, that sweet cedar, hints of cocoa. They said there's supposed to be earth in there, but I never tasted that. But, man, those three right there.
And I'll tell you, the burn construction.
Oh, yeah, looking at yours.
Dude, that ash that I finally thumped off was the first third.
Okay.
The first third was the solid. And the cool thing is I tapped it a couple of times and it didn't fall, so I took a couple more puffs off of it.
It's a good stick, man. I'm in my second third. You on your last third, as usual.
I'm almost on the last third. I'm not quite
you on your
there.
Last third, as usual. But man, this is a great stick, man.
Yeah. So
the aroma has this actual shed smelling great, man. It really does.
Yeah, it's good.
It was a great choice. That's all I got to say. For those that didn't get the cigar pack, you here again, the second issue of it.
Oh,
you
man.
missed out.
I can't wait to see what comes out next month.
Come on.
So here's the thing, too. If you guys haven't signed up for the show pack, you can go by the website, click on the link. It'll take you over. It's $35 a month. That includes shipping. There's no extra shipping charge. You get 4 premium cigars, and I don't know what the MSRP was on these, but I promise you it's way over $35.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely over $35.
And let me just tell you, okay, so this is the 4th cigar we're smoking.
Yes, sir.
So what was your favorite out of the 4? See, because I can tell you what mine's clear cut. Mine was the Aladino. That Aladino, man, that's...
You know what? I got to, yeah.
Was that yours?
Yeah. You got to give it up to that. That Aladino hit everything perfectly. Aroma, first of all, from the toasting.
Right.
The toasting, it was great. The aroma came out great.
And the construction.
The cold draw was great. The construction was great. The ride it took you with the flavors. The retro head was just like, it wasn't overpowering. It was there. You know, I had an ash it wasn't the first third, but it looked like a stack of dimes.
Oh, it was pretty.
It hit it all, man.
Yeah.
All the way down to the part where, like I said, you saw me. I had my poker in it, trying to get all I could out of that sucker, man.
Yeah. So you guys that are members of the show pack, go by the Facebook premium page that we started for just you guys and let us know what your favorite stick was. I'm curious to see if it's a landslide for the Aladino or if other people found other sticks to be, more their palate. So I'm curious to see that. And also, if you haven't signed up, go by sign up. Not only do you get the 4 cigars for $35 and no shipping, we also throw in stickers every month.
Yeah.
On the 3rd month that you've actually been in the membership, you're going to get one of our poker chips. And then after a year that you've been in, we're going to issue challenge coins.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to do a lot of fun stuff. Also, speaking of that, we just started the Cigar Talk Discord service.
Yes.
And so that's going to be something new. This is something really new to me. I know a lot of you guys already use Discord, But if you want to be a part of that Discord and hang out with us and, post pictures and talk about sticks or lounges or just what you're smoking or, just about what's going on in life in general, go by there or shoot me an email.
So we can get the information to you.
Yeah, shoot me an email with your Discord name and 4-digit number. I figured out that I have to have that 4-digit number. And so if you send me that, I'll send you an invite to our new Discord server. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I've already been chatting with some of the guys today in there, and it was a lot of fun. Anyway, guys, let's talk about McAuliffe. Dude, I mean, there's no way that you can put into words in the length of our show everything that they're doing. They are just continually stepping up to the plate, knocking it out of the park. They've got the ambassador program.
Yes.
They have the Facebook group for the ambassadors.
Yes.
They have come out with the ultimate inventory so that shops can sell the entire line. Now they've come out with the Phoenix program, which is going to be a huge deal for the brick and mortars during a time where sales have probably been down. They're giving these guys opportunities to save a ton of money.
Yes.
And so, I mean, these guys are always looking out for the consumers, their ambassadors, and their partners in the brick and mortar. I mean, I can't say enough about it. If you're not an ambassador, go by our website. There's a link that says become an ambassador. You click on it, you fill out some information in for free, which is Bryant's favorite word. Bryant's favorite word is free.
Free.
But they send you your own challenge coin, and you'll have your own personal number. And by the way, I got an email from somebody this week, and you know what it said?
What's that?
Higher is better.
On the challenge coin.
Yeah. He was like number 4,000 and something.
Yeah, I would say that, man.
But you know what? It's created a really good community as well. And I can't say enough about that company because, and when I say the company, I automatically think of Al McAuliffe.
Yes, sir.
But it's not just Al. It's the team that he's put in place. And it's the people from the top all the way to the bottom. I mean, these guys are knocking. I mean, we had the Herf last night, and I lit up a cigar, and somebody was like, "Oh, what are you smoking, a McAuliffe?" And I was like, I'm smoking the Medallia. So, it's a great company, and I have guys ask me all the time where they can find them. We hook them up with Jay at the Leaf.
Yes, we do.
And we had, in fact, Mozzie was on the Herf last night, and he was like, "Dude, let me hook up with the Leaf so I can get some McAuliffe."
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, definitely go by and become an ambassador if you're not. And it's time to get on with the top 6. I hope you have yours ready.
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go first.
Okay. And it's not going in any specific order, but the first one was an Espinosa Laranja Escuro.
Whoa, nice. Very nice. Very nice.
Took that ride again.
Nice.
Took that ride again. I hadn't had one in a while, man. And then I looked in the bottom of my humidor and I was like, ooh. A blessing.
Very nice.
A blessing. So I snatched that up. I think that was Tuesday. I smoked that one. I was like, yeah, I remember this.
Very nice.
I remember this. Number 2, I smoked McAuliffe Leander.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Number 1?
Nah.
Number 2?
Yes.
Gotcha.
And, man, I was driving and just needed, an opportunity to just unwind.
You needed some solitude.
Fortress of Solitude. I was Superman at that time, and I just fired that Leander up, number 2, man. And I actually looked up and I was home. I was like, I don't even remember how I got here, but I got home.
You teleported
home, and I just sat out there in the back of my truck for a little while and just finished it off, man, because it allowed me to come down the rest of that day, man. I truly enjoyed that one. And my last but not least, and the greatest one I had this week was a Viva La Vida 500, man.
Oh, I saw, dude, you've been on some Viva La Vida all week.
Bruh.
All week.
Bruh. We're sitting out there on that Herf last night, and I smoked that up, lit that one up first.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, I should have waited. But then that wind came in, and I was glad I got that one in because I had to get out of the backyard because that's where I was. But I was like, oh, man, this is a great stick, bruh.
Now I'm going to have to come over and check out your setup.
Yeah, it's just me.
I mean, you got a patio out there.
No.
You got grass. You got...
I got grass.
Because I saw you had a cooker.
Yeah.
And Cranky Buzzard made a comment.
What's that?
He said, I see what you use your smoker for.
Oh.
He said, You use it as a prop.
Yeah, sometimes, but I do use it.
Do you smoke meat?
Oh yes. I was raised on it.
Because he said it looked like it hadn't been used in a while.
No. See, I come from a place where during the summer you didn't fire up a stove in that house because my mother didn't want the house hot. So my father,
you wait until the summer.
Oh yeah, my dad, man, he get out there because we had a patio built out back. He get out there and we had one of them old 50-gallon drums that was made into a grill.
Yeah.
Oh, man, he'd be out there after he came home from the post office.
Hey, well, man, you know what I'm thinking? Here's what I'm thinking. It's getting hot.
Oh, yeah, it's getting hot, brother.
So it's time to do some cooking.
Oh, yes, it is.
You know what we should do?
What's that?
We should actually do the live herf from your backyard.
Doing the barbecue.
And do a barbecue
I ain't got no problem
while we're
with
doing that.
I ain't got no
and
problem
have
with
everybody hang out while we're cooking.
I have no problem with it, bro.
That would be sweet.
No problem.
Count me in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so what are you going to make? You can tell I'm a little hungry.
Oh, I am a rib, and where I come from,
dude. That's all you had to say. That's all you had to say.
Pork steaks back at home too.
Pork steaks.
Oh yeah. See, you
Never
don't have
had
it here.
Never had
You
them.
don't have them here. When I go home to St. Louis. I get dry ice from my grandmother, and she has a cooler. She always gives me one of them styrofoam coolers.
Yeah.
I load up with pig's feet.
Okay. All right. Now
Hold on. Keep going.
All right.
I'm gonna keep going. Pig's feet. I load up with pork steaks and this thing we eat at home called snoot.
All right, you got. All right, now wait a minute,
because I can't get them here,
Yeah,
so I
so
bring it back home, and then I can prepare it on the grill
now
myself.
here's what I gotta say. You had me at the ribs.
Oh yeah,
you got me all day long with the ribs, but you sandwiched in pork steak between pig feet and snoot. So now I have to ask.
But yes, sir.
What is a pig steak?
Pork steak.
A pork steak. What is that?
It's a pork steak.
Okay, well, you're talking about feet and a snoot, so I need to know where it comes from.
It comes from the pig, but it's a steak.
All right.
And man, if you have one, well, you will have one because you'll be there for the barbecue. You'll be like, okay, I like this.
Yeah. Hey, well, the word pork and steak make me hungry, so
Gotcha.
I'm good with that. I was just a little concerned.
Gotcha.
I'm not a big fan of the feet or the snoot. Hey, I've had crackling. That's the ears. And you know what? It was okay. That's all. I didn't get another helping.
I hear you.
That was enough.
Man, we are, as they said, the rooter to the tutor.
Hey, well, a friend of mine that I used to work with did the crackling. I'll tell you what he made that just blew your skirt up. And that was roasted pecans. Dude, he would put them in bourbon and then roast them and then put some brown sugar on them and some butter.
Now that sounds good.
Man, dude.
That sounds real good.
Yeah, you could make yourself sick real fast.
For real.
Because it was
Pecans
rich.
too?
Pecans,
Yes.
man.
Soaked in that bourbon with
Yeah. Sitting out on the patio,
Yes.
handful of those in one
Yes.
hand and a cigar in the other.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So,
You
all right.
need to come on with your pick 3.
Right. All right. Let's get to my pick 3, man. You can tell I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I haven't had dinner yet. So anyway, mine this week is I gotta give a shout out to Ben. Ben sent me a couple of sticks.
Okay.
And both of those are on my list this week.
Okay.
Because it had been a really long time since I've smoked. Well, one of them I'd never smoked.
Okay.
And I'll save that one for last. So my first stick that he didn't send me was a CAO flathead, the 6x60. I hadn't had one of those in a really long time, and I was like, you know what? I'm in the mood. And, anytime I smoke something that's bigger than a 6x46, I got to be in the mood.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That made Larry happy.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't have the Steel Horse, which is his go-to, but he does love the flatheads, period.
6x60, yeah.
But that 660, I can't do the 770.
Okay.
It's just too big. To me, it's like if you're smoking a 770, I'm thinking that you're wearing a red nose and you have big shoes on.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
All right, for you guys that like 770s, I'm just breaking your balls. So, sorry. Anyway, my number 2 was the I got to think. It's the Neanderthal, but it's the deformity. the genetic deformity.
Yeah.
That was from Ben. Great stick.
Yeah.
Haven't had one of those in a while, and it was just fantastic. I know that stick very well, and it's been a while. I forget that I really enjoy that. But the last stick I'd never had before was the saber tooth.
Oh, you never had a saber tooth?
I never had an Aquitaine saber tooth. And let me
how'd
tell
you
you,
like
dude,
it?
it was, first of all, let me just tell you, it's a beautiful
Yes,
stick.
it is.
I had never even seen one because, they're rare.
Yes.
And it's hard to find. But when I took that out of the package, I actually just looked at it for a little bit because I was like, that's a beautiful stick.
Yes.
And I tell you what, it was a home run. It was really a home run. It was one of those cigars that when you get down to the final third, you're getting sad because it's almost over.
Gone. Yeah. I had one. The first one I had was when I went to Dallas. What was that, about 4 or 5 months ago? And I got one down there, and I was like, oh, I need to buy 2 more, and I did.
Nice. Yeah, so it was enjoyable. It was super nice of Ben to send that over. And anyway, that's going to wrap up our top six this week. We've got Jesus coming up next right after the break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hey guys, thanks for hanging through the break. We have special guests with us today from Martinez Cigars in New York City. And we've got Jesus Martinez, and then we also have David, who works for, well, I don't know if he works for, but he hangs out and smokes a lot of cigars at the Martinez factory. So how are you guys doing today?
Good. It's a beautiful day.
We're doing good here today.
Oh, very good, man. So I'd like to get it first. Let me just tell you, right before we started the interview, I lit up the flat iron, and man, I've been waiting on this stick all week. I went to your website, checked out all your cigars, and this flat iron just really caught my eye. So I've been saving this cigar all week, waiting for the interview. It's been very difficult, but I'm glad I waited.
Yeah, from what I understand, you don't really wait too much on cigars.
That is true. I don't. So when I do, it's because I think something's going to be really special. So anyway, I'm loving it, man. So tell us a little bit about the flat iron. I mean, this is the first one I've had. Tell us behind the scenes what makes up the flat iron.
The flat iron, we created when people started craving for a box press cigar. We never did a box press cigar. And at the same time, that was the latest cigars we developed. At the same time, Nicaraguan tobacco was very popular as well. Therefore, we decided to, combine the two of them, make a box press and only using Nicaraguan tobacco, except for the wrappers. The binder, filler is all Nicaraguan. Then on the natural, we're using Havana wrapper, and for the Maduro, we're using a Brazilian wrapper, a Piraca, and it came out very well. Especially the Maduro is a full body, natural is a medium body. The only thing is, since it's a box press, it's more of a process, and the production is somewhat limited. Now we started getting some more presses, so we can double up the production of it.
So, Jesus, let me ask you this. I mean, I assume I know how a box press is made. You roll a cigar, then you put it in the wooden, like, crate, or not crate, but press, and then you put them in that, and then you press it down. And how long do they have to stay in there?
We try to keep it in that box at least 2 weeks.
No kidding.
Then, and then we take it out and put it on our humidor for between 3 and 6 months. That's why the production it's a lot slower on them.
Yeah, because I thought maybe you put it in there for a couple of hours. You're talking weeks.
No. On the regular mold, from 50 ring gauge and up, we leave it overnight on the regular mold. But the box press, we leave it there for 2 weeks, and we only have eight box presser. Therefore,
so how many cigars can you put in the box press mold at one time?
200. They yeah.
So is that per press, or is that for all press, your presses? Oh, okay. So that really adds a lot of intense work to do a box press.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really got to be labor intensive. It's time sensitive. I mean, it really slows down your regular production to make something. So it's really special.
Yes. So basically, any other cigar we can produce 400 a day. The box press we can probably produce 2,000 in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's why the production of them is a little slower. But we're getting better. We're getting better at it as it's getting more popular. We are working, to get more molds, and that's the goal. If we can double up again, and now we're producing 4,000 of them, that'll be pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So let me ask you this. So tell us a little bit about Martinez Cigars. I know you guys started back in 1974 in New York. How did the company come about?
Yes, my father, he was a cigar roller in the Dominican Republic, and
okay.
he came to America in 1971, 1972, and that's all he knew what to do, roll cigars. So in the 70s, there was a couple of stores in New York, and he ended up working for one of them here in Manhattan. Then he realized, like, wow, I can start my own, which at the time was a very crazy idea. He knew how to roll cigar, but he didn't speak English. He didn't have the business sense. But he got going and started his own factory in 74. And it was just basically him doing the whole process.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, that's really awesome because, like you said, it was a difficult task. Here's a guy that basically only knows tobacco and the rolling part of the business. He doesn't speak English. He doesn't really know anything about the running a business. And now, 36 years later, you guys are still in business. So, I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Years. Yeah. And, given that things were a lot easier when it comes to, regulation and stuff, but still, it was
still a business.
It's still a business. You still got to run it. Yeah. So, he managed, especially at the beginning, between 1974, I said mid-80s, it was a struggle. It was just him. And then eventually, late 80s, then he started bringing in people as the business grew. And then everybody knows the mid-90s, the cigar boom.
Right.
That's when I came in and started helping him. I started helping him with the clientele. With the phone order, I got the credit card involved. And that end of the business, that's why, you don't want to smoke a cigar that I roll.
Right. So
because I never had the chance to, sit down in the table and just start learning how to roll. I know a little bit, but not definitely not.
That's not your expertise.
No. But, I started smoking here with my father. I started learning about the difference in tobacco. And that's why I got involved in the blending process. And the last two blends,
nice.
Actually, the last three blends was created by me and my master roller.
Oh,
we
nice.
Developed, first we developed the Pasión. Well, my father's original line was the New York City blend and the Don Antonio, which are mostly Dominican tobacco because that was the market that he had, mostly mild, medium at most. But then Nicaraguan tobacco started coming into the picture. And we tried, but the tobacco that we got our hands on for a couple of years, it wasn't all that great, and our clientele didn't like it. We didn't like ourselves. It was too harsh. Then he got more popular, and we decided, you know what, let's give it another try. And finally, we got some really good tobacco from Nicaragua.
Nice.
And that's why I developed the Passion line. Then a few years later, then box press became a hot thing, and that's when the flat iron came up. And the latest blend was last year. Last year was the 45th anniversary for the store. And, just to make it more popular, we went back to Nicaraguan tobacco, but also brought back a piece of leaf from my father's original blend, his favorite leaf, which is Dominican Cubanito. So we blend the starter of the company to where we stand now. So it was a very good combination.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I smoked the 45 series a couple of times this last week, and fantastic cigar, by the way. Really?
Yeah, I try to hide it as much as I can from Dave because he's smoke them all. I'm like, dude, this is a liver addiction,
Yeah. So let me ask you this though. So in the 90s, the business started really picking up because that's when the cigar boom really hit.
The cigar boom, yeah. My father and by the early 90s, there were 4 rollers. By the mid 90s, he had about 26 rollers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So at one point, did your father be like, "Hey, son, man, I'm getting so busy. I'm going to need you to come up here and help"? Or did you be like, "Dad, this is awesome. I want to come work for you"? How did that transpire?
As a little kid, I would always come in, but I didn't have much of a role. I would just be here right after high school. But then once things started really, really picking up, at that time I was already in college. I will make sure that I'll get all my classes in the morning, and then my afternoon and night will be here because it was that much work here. And then eventually, right after the cigar boom, my father was super tired. I mean, he's been doing these things for years now, and like I said at the beginning, it was a one-man show. So he felt comfortable or leaving, contemplating retirement because he knew I was ready to take over the business, and he did that late 90s, which is, to me, is one of my biggest accomplishment. Being able to help my father retire, because I knew he was tired.
Yeah, and I love the story because your dad was rolling cigars down in Nicaragua. He comes to New York.
Dominican Republic.
Oh, Dominican Republic, excuse me. And so comes up to New York, starts his own business, and then the boom hits, and he's having to basically quadruple the amount of rollers he has.
Exactly.
He brings you in. And you basically, and I mean, I don't want to discount anything before that, but I mean, if you think about it, when the boom happened, that's whenever the business part of it really had to evolve. And because you mixed Dad's old school with your young way of thinking, you knew to bring in the credit card sales and the marketing. And I mean, so what a great story of you guys coming together and bringing the best of both worlds as far as the business.
Yeah, and that's what family business is. You have a generation that, does one part, but then the new generation takes it to another level, So, yeah.
And then, there had to be some points where your dad was like, "Hey, knucklehead, that's not going to work."
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You try to reinvent everything. It's like, no, hold on. This is still back to the principle. The cigars need to be made one by one. You're not going to bring a robot, because, you're young. You want to conquer the world. You want to change the whole process. And then they're like, no.
Yeah, you're like, it's cigars. It's cigars, and there's heritage, there's history. So, yeah. So how long has David been on with you?
I know David for years. I actually met him in the cigar business. He had a store with a partner, and they want to start to sell hand rolled cigars, their own cigars, having a roller over the weekend, to promote the business. And they contacted me, and that's how I met him. I believe it was like
we're 15 years in now.
About 15 years. Then the store, after a while, didn't do well. David got into real estate, but he still had the passion for cigars. So he'll come here as a customer, and then he's like, I want to get back in the business. I'm like, hey, listen, you know, I got the main thing here, which is the product. And when we started, like, well, how do you want in the business? It's like, listen, you have this great product, a great reputation over the years. Why don't we take this thing national? I'm like, yeah. I told him, listen, I know this. You know, there's so many opportunities out there, especially with the product that we have. But I told him, like, what my father told me, like, dude, I'm tired. I'm tired. You know, I mean, I already have enough. Because, again, the business has changed so much. With so much regulation, these, that, you got to change everything. So over the year, all that stuff, you know, start taking a toll on you. And to the point you say, you know what? I'm somewhat satisfied with what I got here. I don't want to go into, you know, go even crazy. But if you want to do that, I'm 100% behind you. And, you know, we have the product. We got the potential to grow. I know how to grow the business where the quality stays the same, you know. And yeah, definitely go for it.
You know what I love about what you just said though, Jesus, is you were at a point where you were like, you know what? I'm satisfied. I'm happy with where we are. Now, if you want to do this, man, I'm all behind it, but I'm good. So I'm not gonna start working 80 hours a week to do what you want to do, but if you want to do it, knock yourself out.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what he pretty much told me, and I was really happy about it. It was funny. We had that conversation in here, and then once he said, you know, if you want to do it, I'm 100% behind you, but, you know, go for it. You got to put the time in. Because he's had people that come help, but then after a while, they see how much work it is, and they're like, all right, this is not what I wanted to do. I ended up just leaving here that afternoon, going to my office and put it in my 2 weeks, and then came back and said, all right, let's start. And that was it. That's how it started. And I knew coming in here every day, seeing the environment, the way he does, how he carries his business, how he carries himself, how everybody loved the cigars, seeing people from all over the world that come to New York, stop in here to taste our cigars and everything. I said, this has to be brought out to everybody. So I'm going to start from the bottom up and start knocking on doors and talking to people and getting the name out into people's hands. And right now it's really starting to get some traction, and we're starting to see really good results from it. And, you know, being on your show is one of the things that you're one of the targets that I had on there, and I'm happy that we're on, and we're looking forward to moving even further.
Oh, man. Well, we're super happy to have you guys. And Jesus, I don't know if David's told you, but we have a virtual HERF once a week, and we get on and smoke cigars and drink bourbon and tell dirty jokes. And so,
he told me he'd been on it a couple of times.
So anyway, I found out about you guys through David, and I was super excited. I went to your website and checked out your cigars. And so if anybody out there wants to check out their cigars, it is martinezcigars.com. Go by there. Their cigars are absolutely beautiful. And I'm telling you, I've smoked about half of the line right now. I'm smoking this flat iron, and they are absolutely just superb quality. I've been just super impressed, Jesus.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, and that's the thing. We have a small production, which is good, you know, at one point, because you can oversee everything. And also the fact that, you know, these guys, they have worked with us for over 20 years. You know, they very passionate what they do. I can be on top of them, you know, 24/7 inspecting every cigar. There's no way I can get that done. And, you know, but the fact that we are a family, you know, they want the best for the company, because it translates to the best for them. And they're very passionate. So that's when, like, at least I don't have to worry about that. And moving forward, we already have a plan with a lot of, because in New York there's a lot of Dominicans, and they come from my hometown, Tamboril, which is well known for cigar rolling. So those guys right now, a lot of them, they're not rolling cigar because the industry is not big enough. So they doing, you know, all sorts of different jobs, but they just waiting for an opportunity, because even if they make the same amount of money or even a little less, they rather be doing what they grew up doing. So we have the guy in place The store that we have is not that big, like typical New York location. But, we already have another place that we can turn that into another rolling facility once things growing. So, we're not concerned about growing a little bit more so we can meet whatever Dave projects brings on.
Well, you're probably going to have to open up a new factory just to make cigars that he smokes.
Yeah. I'm going to have to designate a roller just for him.
Hey, I'm okay with that. That.
So let me ask you this, Jesus. About how many cigars are you making a year right now?
I'll have to say 100,000.
Yeah, about a little over 100,000.
Yeah, 100,000. And so, and that's all coming out of your current facility, right?
Yes.
So, what I'd like to see is, we all know that certain cigar companies have exploded overnight and they weren't able to keep up with demand and do quality control at the same time. And so what I love about your cigars is you're like that special coffee roaster or that bakery or that barbecue place that it's small. So you guys are so focused on making a quality product that it's almost like you're getting the best of the best because you're not a national brand. You're actually able to just quality control to where every detail of every cigar. And I can tell by smoking it, man. This is probably a top 10 cigar, and a lot of people haven't even heard of you yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the tax at hand that we're gonna have to keep up once the business grow. And I told Dave, I said, listen, like I said, I'm 100% behind you, but there's certain things that we won't be able to get done. Like I told you when I came in the business, I wanted to do all these, all that, and my father's like, nah. Hold on, it's not like that.
Yeah, you're not gonna go from making 100,000 cigars a year to 500,000 cigars next year. It's not gonna happen.
No way.
Exactly.
Yeah, no way. Even if the demand is there, and that's one thing that the people that we have met, the older stores, that right away off the bat we tell them, listen. Here's our location, and if you want to take a trip down here so you can actually see, how much we can actually do for the time being, that's what you're gonna get. We're not gonna just because you want 100,000 boxes. No, we're not gonna do it for the money.
Right.
It's a family name. 46 years. I'm not gonna cash in.
You're not cutting corners just to make a buck.
No.
Yeah, well, when I came in, I had 40,000 ideas, and we're going to do this. He was the same. It's pretty much exactly what he's saying. He's like, we're going to just focus on one thing first. So then, starting to see everything. So we are starting to, trying to take to that next level and then just preparing for the future. And that future could be 6 months from now, a year from now. But once things start going, we have that plan to expand and still have that quality over just putting things out. So that's a big important thing for our company.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that Jesus always stresses on. It's like we want to keep the quality over quantity all day long.
Yeah, and I feel like you guys are like this hidden gem in New York that if I want to be selfish, I don't want to tell everybody about you guys. So, but I'm always happy to help in any way. So at the bottom of this episode, we'll have a link to Martinez Cigars so we can send people over to you so they would have the opportunity to experience what a true craftsman how a true craftsman makes a cigar that maybe you wouldn't have the opportunity to enjoy because, unless you go to New York, you might not have ever heard of Martinez Cigars.
Exactly. And the thing is, you don't have to travel to DR or to Nicaragua to go see a factory making cigars. You could just come right to New York and you'll have that same experience. Not in the big, large scale of it, but you're going to see how the process is done, what everything goes into it, and then also see how the family is. And what the thing that we want to really try to do is to grow that family, and everyone that does come here and become a part of us and enjoy our cigars, we always say, welcome to the family. And that's one thing that we're really starting to grow in.
So when you come in the morning, is there always coffee available? You're ready to start drinking coffee with your cigars?
No, we actually have to buy the coffee. There's this law in New York that, you know, if you serve coffee, if they really want to get, in your case, they will ask you, do you have a food permit, a food license?
Yeah.
No, we used to have a machine. You know, it was for the roller, for ourselves, and you know, if anybody come in, hey, help yourself. But now, you know, everything is just like
regulation.
So we actually get our coffee. The guy, well, now we're not rolling, obviously, because of the shutdown. But when on a normal day, the guy, we don't open for business till 7. But the guy, you know, they have that tradition back in Dominican Republic, Nicaragua, Cuba, where they get up at 4:00 in the morning and start working by 5. So my guys, they grew up like that. So they get here at 5:30 in the morning and lock the door up and just start rolling. When I come in around 7, I open up the door for business and that's it, you know. And then I start doing the paperwork, start working on the order, you know, for the next day and all that stuff. But they get here pretty early and they finish around 2:30. And we stay here till 7.
I was going to say, at what time do we quit drinking coffee and we start drinking bourbon?
Bourbon is 3:00.
3:00. All right. I just want
3:00. The bourbon, the rum comes up. If on a Friday, 1:00 beer, and you know,
a lot of beer.
Yeah, a lot of beer.
A lot of beer.
Yeah.
A lot of beer and a lot of baseball talk. Everyone's talking baseball.
Okay.
Which we're missing right now.
Yeah, no kidding, for real. So, David, what do you got planned for Martinez Cigars, if you can enlighten us a little bit? I mean, what's your strategy? What do you plan on doing? I mean, I know you're going to hit the podcast circuit. I know you're going to be talking to Dad Smoking Cigars, the cigar pulpit you've talked to. Really, I don't know if you have, but you should reach out to Al Roman over at the Good Cigar and Danny over at
we've been on his show. He's a great guy, Al.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great guy. Him and his wife had a great show. We had a good time talking to him. Right now, we're just on hold. We're pretty much getting everything ready to when we're allowed to start working again. We have a couple things lined up. We're actually developing a cigar for Nick and Jeff at the Cigar Pulpit.
That's what I heard.
Which hopefully, we're going to start developing a cigar for them. And that's something we're really excited to do, and they are as well. We have 3 other lines that we're coming out with for 3 other clients that we're developing blends for. And then we're going to start hitting the road and starting to hit those shops all around the country. We have about 4 or 5 different locations that want us to come out. So we're going to start doing these events where we're going to be bringing our touch on how we do things and pretty much bringing the atmosphere that we have here to these events. And we're going to bring our rollers out so everyone can see how we make our cigars and start really just promoting our brand. We have a series that we're going to be coming out with that is going to be a seasonal series that comes out twice a year. So it's similar to like craft beer. You have your fall and your winter and summer beers, but we're going to have it for cigars. So twice a year we'll have a new blend that comes out, a limited edition, and those are going to be really available at brick and mortar establishments because we want customers to go into those stores and have that interaction with those owners and everybody, just like cigars should be.
I love
so
the
we're
small
really excited
batch.
for that.
I love the small batch idea, as long as you don't do some kind of pumpkin spice.
No, we're far from that. We're not really into the. We're not really into. Oops, sorry about that. We're not really into flavored stuff here. We pretty much make everything all natural. Just let the tobacco bring out its own flavors. So we're going to try to do some different things here with customers and people that enjoy our cigars and retail owners, what they would like to see. And then we're going to try to do things and bring out 2 different cigars every year. So I think that would be a really good thing to bring out to everybody. And other than that, we're just going to push forward podcasts and just introducing our cigars to everybody as possible.
Awesome, man. Well, here's an idea that I had for shops. So if you're a cigar shop owner, I would really like you to at least entertain this idea. I think a lot of my ideas are complete genius, but you guys might not think so. But what I was thinking is if I owned a cigar shop, what would be amazing is to have a small section in my humidor where I rotate very small boutique cigar lines. So I bring in a very small line of boutique cigars and I carry them until I run out. And then I bring in another one. And that way the guys who are coming in my shop have the opportunity to sample these amazing cigars that you wouldn't normally find. And so as a cigar shop owner, you know, real estate in the humidor is very valuable, and it's hard to give a company you've never heard of a whole shelf space. But if you had just a small section that you rotated like every month, every 2 months, however long it took to sell out on that product, then it would give your consumers an opportunity to try cigars maybe they would never have an opportunity to try. And if that cigar line blows up, then you know, hey, I want to carry these cigars.
Yep. Yeah, you know, that's one thing that I've seen throughout my different years. It was that in the 80s and 90s, early 90s, consumer were different. If they smoked Macanudo, you could never introduce them to a different cigar. It's like, nah, Macanudo, that's it. But after the cigar boom, you started to see consumer, you know, not being as loyal to just one brand. They want to check, you know, the little boutique. And that's when the boutique cigars got hot, because the mindset was completely different than back in the days. People like want to try different stuff. So yeah, that would be very smart for a retailer to dedicate it could be a tiny section. Right. You know,
yeah, it's a good idea.
It gives them an advantage that people like, oh, let me see this month what they have, you know, because that's how the consumers are now. They want to try different stuff, not just stuck to their own one brand.
Yeah, and as a consumer myself, I mean, if you had a small section in your humidor where you were carrying a different cigar line, you know, every month or every 2 months, I would smoke one of those at least every time I go in there, just because I like trying new cigars. And I think it would be a great idea for shop owners. And you know what? For all the listeners out there, you should take that idea to your local shop and say, hey, man, set up a place where we can just have like 2 or 3 facings, and that's it. And, you know, people send them their best cigars and see what happens.
Exactly.
And it's good for the manufacturer, too, because you can play around with things and say, let's see how this works out. Put them out there, and you can see where it goes. So it works for both sides, and, you know, it's a really good idea.
Well, thank you, David. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, I'll make sure to bring that up on Saturday night.
There you go. Hey, so here's my other question, Jesus. I was going to ask you if David had told you my granddad's favorite game joke.
No, I forgot that. No.
We're gonna let him tell you that joke off the air.
Okay.
So anyway, guys. Well, hey, man, tell everybody where they can find you on Instagram or Facebook, wherever you guys are, David.
We're on martinezcigar.com is our website. You can go there and, put in orders. We're still shipping out, even though we're closed. So we're a fulfillment center. So keep bringing them in. We have the inventory to send everything out. We have that. We also have Martinez Cigars on Instagram and then also on Facebook. And, that's pretty much where we're at, and, you know, hitting the podcast scene just like yourselves. And, I want to say thank you for putting us on there and also on your HERF on Saturday nights. That's a big thing. We've, matched up with quite a few people out of that HERF, and we look forward to more. And, guys like you, Nick at the Cigar Pulpit, and Al, and all the guys all around, we really appreciate it. And that's, we're going to keep going what we're doing. Jesus is making some great blends, and we're going to be out there and, hitting the pavement and getting our name out there.
Absolutely. Now, David, since you've actually been to 2 of our virtual HERFs, I think, is that right, 2?
Yeah, the last 2. Yeah.
So tell everybody how much fun those are.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, you get to meet a lot of great guys, a lot of good stories, and some pretty good jokes at the end of the night. But one of the things is you get to meet a lot of people from all over the country.
Yeah.
You just gotta be remember it's going to be a late one. It's not going to be over 11 o'clock. It's going to be over like 2, 3 in the morning. And if you're on the East Coast, and but it's fun. It's you talk cigars, you talk about sports, and for a company like us, it's a great way of people getting to know who we are, getting to see the type of product we have, and then hearing the honest reviews of what people think of our products or any other people that have something to promote. I mean, that's a great thing that you're doing, and like I said, I'm looking forward to the next one.
Well, what I love about it is exactly what you said. It's the connections with people from all over the country, different backgrounds, and it reminds me of basically going to a cigar lounge where people network. And I mean, whether you're wanting to get in contact with a podcaster or someone who's a marketing guy on Instagram, or if you're just wanting to talk to consumers, man, that we all show up there and just have a great time. So we do that every Saturday night at 9 Central. And I usually post the invitation on Facebook and Instagram. And so if anybody wants to join us, I mean, we have people that drop by. We have Martinez Cigars that come by. We've had McAuliffe Cigars come by. We've had Roma Craft come by. And you get to talk to these guys from these corporations, these companies, these cigar manufacturers. And then you get to talk to a lot of podcasters, if you want to. And then, but it's a really good time. And if you haven't done it, I highly recommend it. Cause when I first started it, I was kind of like, I don't know if this is going to, pan out. And after doing it, once or twice, I was kind of like, well, I don't know if I'll do it again. But then every week before Saturday, I start getting my phone blown up. Hey, what time is the meeting tonight? Yeah. So it's really turned into something a lot bigger than what I thought it would be, but it's been a lot of fun, and we really appreciate you guys coming out, man.
No, thank you.
Thank you for having us. We don't have the big budget to advertise, so definitely the podcast and any help we can get is great. It is tremendous.
Well, I think in the cigar industry, man, the word of mouth is going to be great for you guys because you make a great product. And I mean, just from talking to David and now talking to you, Jesus, I love a company that makes a great product, but I also love a company that has good people. And I think you guys are definitely good people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, man. Well, that's going to wrap it up. And if you guys need anything at all from me, feel free to reach out at any time. And I will put links down to your website underneath this episode so people will be able to find you. And if there's anything else that you need from me, man, just let me know.
We will. And then, if you're ever in New York and you want to do the show from here, you're more than welcome. The invitation's always out.
Absolutely.
You always let everybody know, come on in and do it from here. And, it's a different experience. So if you're ever in New York, be open to that.
Over the time that we've been doing the podcast, I've met so many people from New York, and I can't wait to come up there. I think there's going to be about 3 or 4 places I got to do shows, and I'm looking forward to all of them because you know what I found out about New York people is that they're great people, man.
Thank you.
Oh, well, let me tell you, before I started doing this podcast, I'm from Texas, and everybody thought that New Yorkers were just dicks.
Yeah, rude. Yeah. That's the label we get.
Yeah,
there's some of those out here.
They're out there.
But you guys are so friendly, and I mean that's not what I expected at all. I just tell you, man, every time I talk to people from New York, it just blesses me. So thank you for what you guys do, and like I said, if you need anything from us, feel free to reach out, brother.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
All right, man. Y'all have a great day, and I'm going to sit here and enjoy the rest of this flat iron.
Awesome.
All right, man. Have a good one, right, Rob?
Hey, you too, man. We'll see you next Saturday.
Yeah, man. I'll be a little warmer, too.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right, bye. Bye.
Hey, guys. Hope you enjoyed that interview. Man, Jesus, what a great guy. I mean, the dude has been doing this for 40 years. And, I mean, if you guys haven't been by the website for Martinez, you should definitely go check them out. Last week, 2 of their sticks made my top 3, the Flat Iron and the 45 series. Man, that is a cigar to me that rivals the $20 to $25 range. And I think it's like a $10 to $15 cigar. So, I mean, what you get, it's like, to me, it's like you're having, what's that called? The microbreweries. Yeah. And they make those really special beers. These guys are making special cigars. And it's like that special cigar you never heard of. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
And so anyway, go by their website. I'll have a link on our website. And if you look in the footnotes of this episode, you'll see the link to Martinez Cigars as well. Anyway, we wanted to touch on travel humidification. and everybody knows really the king of the mountain is Boveda. We've had Rob from Boveda on the show before,
Yes, we have.
and we've talked about the extensive research that they've done that goes into that. But, there's really been, if you've been on Instagram, you can't miss everybody talking about the HumaSmart humidification packs.
Sir.
And so we talked a little bit about them last night on the HERF. And so, what's the benefit of jumping ship from Boveda and going to HumaSmart? Right. I mean, because here's the thing: if you're going to try to knock the king of the hill off,
it has to be amazing.
You got to come to the table with something that's going to knock my socks off.
Yeah.
Because I already got a good product at a good price, and you're going to come to the table with the same price and relatively the same or weaker product.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make the switch.
Yeah, because everybody they want to speak on the all natural part of it.
Right.
And that's good. That's especially good for the environment. But when the only difference is $2 and we know what Boveda does, when I know who you are,
right,
I don't have to worry. But when you come in and, you give me, you introduce yourself and I'm like, I don't, and you don't give me anything to put you over the top.
Right. And, and one of the reasons I brought this up is because Half Wheel did an article on HumaSmart this week, and I thought it was very interesting. So a lot of the information that I'm talking about, I gathered while I was reading this article. But, I mean, the prices are not that different.
Nope, $2.
And so when I get something that is proven, and it's been proven in my own humidors for years, it makes it very difficult for me to make the switch.
It does.
And I'm going to tell you, back in December, I bought some.
Okay.
And when I was talking to him, I told him, hey, this is Rob from Cigar Talk, and I was interested in checking out your product. And the guy was like, hey, man, I'll just send you some. And I was like, no, I'll pay for them because I want my experience to be unbiased.
Unsolicited.
Right. And you know what? I used them in a travel humidor, and I didn't have any issues with them. But it wasn't better.
Yeah.
And so because it wasn't like over the top better, I was like, man, I'm going to have to stick with my Bovedas. I mean, you know what? It's like, and I'm not knocking these guys. They're doing something, and I like to see competition. I like to see companies coming in and trying to do something.
Most definitely.
But if I was over there at HumaSmart, I'd be looking at ways to improve my product and go over the top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
So I'm not here to judge them and say it's one way or the other. I'm just saying that it wasn't enough for me to switch.
It's one of those muscle memory type things. It's something that you've done over and over and over and over and over again, and it's nothing that is there to change that. So if I walked into a cigar shop and I needed humidification real quick, the first thing that's going to come to my mind is Boveda, because nothing has taken that off my mind. So it'd be muscle memory to me. But to rate them, I'd say they're both on the same level.
Yeah.
They're both on the same level. They're both good products. Yes, one is all natural, the other one isn't. But to me, what is that?
And let's talk about this for a second, though. If you go into the cigar shop, what are you going to buy?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't see the HumaSmart in any of the shops.
And then it's still gonna fall on that muscle memory. The first thing I'm gonna ask for is I need some humidipacks. And they can be like, well, what you want? Boveda. That's the only thing that's gonna flow off my mouth, because that's the first thing that's on my mind.
Right.
Nothing has been able to take that place in my mental Rolodex to say, okay, now I'm going to HumaSmart.
I would compare Boveda to Coca-Cola.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Now, are you a Pepsi guy or a Coke guy?
Yeah, I was raised a Pepsi guy.
But you like sweets.
I was raised a Pepsi guy.
Whenever they did the blind taste challenge, Pepsi actually won.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, they actually won, but they're two distinctive tastes. So for people to tell me that they can't tell the difference between the tastes, that's a lie.
I don't drink either one of them.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't drink soft drinks except on the rare occasion when I'm at the Leaf and I want to cleanse my palate.
Yeah, I got you.
I'll have the lemon lime Sprite, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And so that's very rare. But I used to drink a ton of Coca-Cola, and I quit drinking carbonated drinks for like 3 years,
And the
and
difference
after
in your
that,
life, yeah.
I don't like them.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't think there's any difference.
In your palate, it was.
Right, right. So that's why I don't drink them. I just got away from them, and now I'm glad that I don't.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, depends. If I'm eating something, every now and then, like last week, I had a pizza with my son, and we both drank Pepsi.
Yeah, because
that carbonation cleans your
that's
palate.
what I'm saying. It's a taste that goes with that. You want that pairing.
Especially when you're eating a greasy, slimy slice of pepperoni. You know what I mean? So anyway,
Yeah,
all right, that's enough about that. I just wanted to see what you thought about that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it really makes me no difference because I've got Bovetta in my humidor. They make a great product.
And I've ordered some sticks, and they've been sent with Human Smart. So it's just, to me, like I said, it's going to fall back on muscle memory. Whatever pops in if I walk in there, the first thing that's going to pop off my mind is Bovetta. And that's what I'm going to grab. So they're still on the same level to me. It comes down to Coke and Pepsi. Coke and Pepsi, whatever's your flavor, that's what you roll with. And until you find something that knocks you out, because I still haven't been knocked out by Dr. Pepper yet here in Texas. Yeah, that's a religion down here.
Especially in this part of Texas.
Oh, Lord.
Now, did you ever get the original? From Dublin.
Yeah, God, who brought me that? Somebody that I work with. They had, I can't think of the name now. Anyway, they brought some. They brought for our managers meeting in Austin. They brought some. I tasted. I was like, "Oh my God,
that's the real cane sugar."
I'm like, "This is different."
Yeah. Well, and just so you guys that may not know, Dr. Pepper came from Texas.
I can believe it because it's everywhere.
Dublin, Texas, and if you get the Dublin Dr. Pepper, it's still made with the sugar cane instead of the glycose blah blah.
The chemical,
right? So. Anyway, we got this week's giveaway. It's time for the Moose Mountain Goods coffee giveaway. Now, if you guys haven't tried the Moose Mountain Goods coffee, you are missing out. I have been drinking some of this Moose Mountain Good coffee every day. And let me tell you, you're going to be excited. You haven't had this yet.
Okay.
Did you know that they have, let's see, which one? I got to think which one it is. I don't remember the name of it, but I remember the origin. They have an Ethiopian coffee that is, dude, lights out. You know how a lot of the Ethiopian coffee is like kind of bitter?
Yeah.
This is smooth.
No acidic in it.
Creamy. Dude, you still get all that flavor without the over-the-top acidity. I mean, it's got just a little bit to it, but, dude, it's smooth. I was, because usually, you know me, I'm a Sumatra guy, I'm a Costa Rican guy. Yeah. And that's my wheelhouse. So when I tried the Ethiopian, I already went in thinking this is going to be strong. It's going to be over the top. And whenever I had a cup, I was like, holy cow, that's good. So far I've tried every blend, and every blend I've had is exceptional. And so if you haven't tried them, go by our website. You can click on the link. It takes you over to their webpage. And if you use our code CIGAR15, you get 15% off and free 2-day shipping.
2 days.
So you can't miss out on the coffee, dude. It's boom, boom. I've been looking for a coffee maker for so long. Now that I found it, I'm just like, you know what? That's dude, because I've been looking.
Yes.
I've been trying to find the perfect coffee for, a year?
Yes, sir.
And what is the chances of me finding the perfect coffee? And they're in Abilene, Texas.
In your backyard.
Right. That blows me away. So anyway, this week's winner, let me see, is Glenn Rowan. Glenn Rowan, congratulations. Now, if you haven't signed up for our weekly giveaway, go by our website, click on the registration button, and you'll be in the contest every week. Every week. And so that's as simple as it can get. So anyway, Mr. Rowan, here's what you need to do. Send me an email, and in the subject line, put Cigar Talk Winner. That's all you got to do. And then in the body, put your name and address, and we will get that. Yeah, your real address, and we'll get that shipped out to you ASAP. So anyway, let's talk about what's coming up. Oh, you know what? We didn't say. We got new logo.
Oh, yes.
You haven't seen our new logo. It's been redesigned. And we have new stickers. We still have some of the old stickers, but we're trying to get rid of those. But the new stickers are up on our website. If you want to go buy, we have them available on the website. Click on the Cigar Talk store, and we ship out a pair together.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, go by and check out our website and let me know what you think of the new logo too. Let's talk about what's coming up next week.
Yes, sir.
We got special guests. He's been on the show a couple of times over the last 14, 16 months. Anyway, he always has the inside scoop of what's going on within the tobacco political landscape.
Yes.
We got Glenn Loop from Cigar Rights of America. He's going to come on, and we're going to talk about what's going on, with the COVID. Things have been changed up. Some postponements have come about. And it's super important if you are a cigar enthusiast to keep up with what's going on, because there's about to be some big stuff happening.
Yes, it is.
And you need to be engaged. You need to be trying to fight for your rights, because that's all we can do. And so if you haven't become a member of Cigar Rights of America, you should definitely go by and do that. I also will tell you, Orlando Perez?
Yes, sir.
He is now a lifetime member.
Congratulations, bro.
Yeah, man. And he showed us the cigar pack they sent him last night. Dude, the pack that they sent was really nice. It had, I don't even know how many sticks. He was just flashing them, and it was like, and I was like, oh, well, he won a Cigar Talk cap, ball cap last night.
From the game, named their tune last night.
So I told him, you send me the cigars, I'll send you the hat. So, hey, that's another thing, guys. If you guys haven't joined us on the weekly HERF, you got to come by. We had so much fun last night. We played Name That Tune and gave away prizes. We gave away Cigar Talk stickers, poker chips, hats. And then we also had Jay from the Leaf give away a McAuliffe sampler pack of 6 cigars, and Schmidt Face won.
Schmidt Face. So you got to send them to Australia?
Yes. So here's the way that's going to work. Jay gave the cigars. I got to pay for the shipping. Yeah. I was like,
man, when he told us about how the price of shipping in Australia.
Thanks.
On his,
thanks,
but
Schmidt
that's
Face.
But that's on his side though, right?
No, I'm paying the shipping. God. Yeah. What I told him before the show even started, he goes, so if I win, do I get anything or what? And I said, dude, I will send you a picture of the prize.
Yeah, because that's the cheapest way to do it.
But anyway, no, I'm going to, you know what? He's been a loyal fan, listener, good brother of the Leaf. Yeah. And so I'm excited to actually send him these cigars.
And it just amazes me. We on the HERF, we're sitting in the dark.
Yeah.
And the sun is shining brightly, and he's a day ahead.
Hey, he's a day ahead. And then Ben is in Hawaii, and it's daylight. But I think it's a different day.
Yeah.
So for Ben, it was like 3 p.m, and for Schmidt Face, I think it was like 11:30 in the morning, something like that.
This is the kiddie part of it. I just wish they could send me lottery numbers.
Oh, right. Hey, what happened yesterday? So anyway, guys, we got Glenn Loop coming up next week. You're not going to want to miss that. Until next time.
Keep smoking.